all I was thinking was, oh my God, I don't want to be him, that I have those kind of regrets.
Yeah.
So I will tell you all right now, if you don't like what you're doing, step back, think about what you think you want to be when you grow up, and set forth a plan for yourself. So again, understanding that I went to college, then I went to law school, and I practiced law first in the US for 2 years. We then had an opportunity to move overseas. And I thought, how cool would that be? I'm going to go live in another country where English is not the primary spoken language. I'm going to be a fish out of water, but this is a new opportunity and it's a new experience and it's something that I may never get otherwise. And we didn't have kids at the time. We didn't own a house. So we up and went. We lived in Tokyo for 2 years. My son was born in Japan. We keep threatening to get him a tattoo that says made in Japan. He doesn't think we're funny. I think we're hilarious. But it's these kind of opportunities that may present themselves to you. And my suggestion to you all would be open to them. Don't be afraid of change. You have to decide, is COVID and this situation a disaster, or is it an opportunity? So this morning I'm listening to the radio and I hear an advertisement for, I forget if it was Babbel or Rosetta Stone. And the woman who was speaking said, during COVID, I learned to speak French. Now, I can tell you right now, my high school French is kind of rusty. But it's this window of opportunity. And I'm using that word opportunity very specifically while you're stuck at home, while you can't go out and drink coffee at the local shop, where you are Zooming with friends to have a glass of wine instead of going to a bar. Maybe there is a course online that you could take that would differentiate you. And at the risk of giving a shout out to your sponsor, IQ4 offers online courses, and I'm speaking from experience because I've mentored some of their classes, which will give you potentially a competitive edge. It might help you with a promotion in your current position. It might help you to dust off your resume and add a new skill so you can now look for a completely different job. The fact is that whether you are 25 or you're 55, don't think that what you're doing today has to be what you're doing next week or next year or 5 years from now. And I said to him, look, I don't blame you for being depressed. This is a challenging time. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to change the message? What are you going to do to change your package? How are you going to stand out from the crowd? And that's what I would suggest that people think about. What's going to differentiate me? If all I'm doing are Zoom interviews, what could be an interesting background? Should I have my dog in my lap? My dog's cute, but there's a reason that I'm in my office today, and that's because my dog would be all over me and you guys would be distracted by a really cute Lhasa Apso. That's not going to convey professionalism. You want to think about still projecting a professional image. Now, I know what looks professional in the tech career these days is different than what I view it. I was joking with Megan. I put on my pearls this morning. My guess is you guys probably can say, oh my God, she really is that old, isn't she? She's wearing pearls. She's got gray hair. Those aren't pearls. That's much more fashionable than this. These are antiques. And I'm bordering on being an antique.
They're classics.
There you go. But my point is, think about what's going to differentiate you. And by the way, it's not going to be the end of the world if you accept a job that's not right for you right now, if you have to pay the rent. Because let's do a reality check. You need a roof over your head and you need food. And if you are living on your own and you're not looking to rush back to your parents' home and you still have rent to pay or you still have a mortgage to pay and you may or may not be in a location where there is rent forgiveness right now, do what's going to make sense. And by the way, don't be afraid to ask for help. And when I say ask for help, it may be financial help. It may be professional help. The fact is you're not alone right now. And what you're doing right now it's not just you. It's a whole bunch of people. And by the way, it's not just people of your age. There are people my age that are being furloughed. There are people my age that are being let go. And for better or worse, you're in good company. Sometimes it meant working on the weekends and not going out and doing everything I wanted to. But I wanted this knowledge. And
Right.
so depending upon what you're juggling at home and what you're juggling at work, you may have to give up watching your favorite show. You may have to give up
binging a TV show every once
you
in a
may have
while.
to give up zooming a glass of wine with friends one night. You've got to decide, can you make this your priority at least for the next 5 months?
Right.
And I will also tell you, my husband actually went back to school because he and I both seem to be in the position of pivoting. And he'd been in banking for 27 years. He is now an orthopedic PA. So needless to say, he really switched up life. And again, but in his case, he went back to school full time. You can't do essentially the first year of medical school, which is in large part what physician's assistance program is.
Right. It's a whole 180.
Exactly. But it's what he wanted to do. And he focused on it and he dedicated himself to the studies. So I would absolutely encourage you to go back and learn more, but don't also bite off more than you can chew. Pick a program that's going to work with what your needs are and what your time allows for.